This week on the show, we dive headfirst into the week one of the Ultimate Schmoedown with Snyder versus Matt Nost and Josh Mokuoba versus Mike Kalinowski. We also look at everything going on in the Schmoedown at the moment, as well as the brand new app that has been announced. But until then, let's go. Hello and welcome to the Reactors Summit. I'm your host, Jacob Blunden, and tonight we have an incredible show for you. But before we get to that, I am joined by my wonderful panel. Evan DeGraff, how are you?
I'm really trying to decipher in my head. Are polls the end of MTS? Closed polls, open polls, all the polls? Will it end the Movie Trivia Schmoedown? Find out here on the Reactors Summit. I'm doing fine.
I swear to God, every week your openings get weirder and weirder. Kristen Smith, follow that up.
Why do I always have to go after Evan? What is this? This is like the most... Put me after, like Clark or something. At least he's got good material. Jesus. Doing very well, thanks for having me.
Chris Clark, how are you?
I'm doing great, Jacob. This is a great night. It's going to be a great night. It's going to be a rocking night. We're going to rock this sucker to the end of the world. From the Knights of the Round Table to the bottom of the pits of the sardines. We are going to rock this.
Matthew Kearns, thank you for joining. How are you?
Still repping the Alliance, gone but never forgotten.
Thank you. Well, we have an awesome show tonight, guys. It's going to be a lot more laid back than the last couple of weeks. We're back to two matches a week. A lot more laid back. This is the first round of the ultimate singles tournament, I should say. Sorry. We had two pretty good, pretty entertaining matches. So before we get into those, Dale, the dude, is going to recap them for us. Take it away, Dale.
What's going on, everybody? This is Dale the Dude Gibbs coming at you with a Schmoedown weekly recap. This week saw the kickoff of the singles Schmoedown tournament. We are all very excited for that. We got some great matches coming up. Now, Tuesday, we saw Mighty Matt Nost of Top 10 go up against Jeff Snyder of the ever-controversial Patriots. Now, listen, dude, I love me some Matt Nost, dude. Anyone who rolls with the Outlaws is a friend of mine, dude. But not so mighty this week, unfortunately, as he did fall to Jeff Snyder. Now, dude, this is why the Patriots hold the belt, man. They're both good players. Now, Snyder, dude, you won fair and square, but come on now. That last question was bull crap. I mean, Chris Delicki, did you write that? I don't know, but what the hell kind of question is this? What actor played the cage operator in 47 meters down? I mean, come on now. The actors in that movie probably even haven't seen that. Come on. But needless to say, Snyder will be moving on. Now, yesterday, we saw Mike Kalinowski go up against the always entertaining Josh Mokuoba. Congrats on getting hitched, by the way, there, Mokuoba. Loving them pictures on the Twitter. Now, unfortunately, this game was a bit of a blowout, dude. And for the first time in Schmoedown history, the wild man Josh Mokuoba got TKO'd by the killer Mike Kalinowski. Hell of a matches this whole week. It was damn good Schmoedown, and we all can't wait for the rest of this singles tournament. Until next time, I'm Dale the Dude.
Thank you, Dale, for that. All right, guys. This week's first match, Jeff Snyder versus Matt Nost. Evan, what was your biggest takeaway from this match?
It's hard, because when I first saw the match, I'm like, wow, Matt Nost did surprisingly well, even though he lost. But on deeper reflection throughout the week, I have found that Matt Nost, for being in a tournament, he did Matt Nost worthy, if that makes sense. All of us expected for Jeff Snyder to win, and I think tension that Matt Nost had a chance of winning. I only felt that there might have been an opportunity for him to win, only a chance, but never the actual tension. Like, oh my gosh, Matt Nost could actually win this match. It was just, oh, Matt Nost is performing pretty well. So it turned into a typical Schmoedown for me, which I thoroughly enjoy because Jeff and Matt's back and forth is beautiful. The whole, I'm Matt Nost and I'm acting like Jeff Snyder, got a toothpick in my mouth thing. I loved it. I fell in love with it all. So look, I enjoyed the match, but the more I think about it, it was just, another typical kind of thing for me.
Kristen, Evan talks like that, yeah, it was just a fairly typical standard match for him that he enjoyed. Was there anything in particular that stood out for you with this match?
I think the majority of people assumed that Nost was going to at least get out a KO or a TKO, or potentially only like get to a second question or something in round 3. Maybe not even make it to round 3. But he didn't. He did very well. He got to his last question. Oh, what a question that was. I mean, okay, so Nost actually put something on Twitter, and it was like the amount of people by percentage that had actually seen the movie in the United States, and it was like 1% or something. Like, it was really not very much, which is sad, really sad. So yeah, what a question that was. But that's what the Schmoedown is. So but Snyder played really well. I mean, not his best game, but it was a competitive match, and the competitive matches are the ones that are more entertaining than, you know, some of the matches that might have come up later in the week. So I enjoyed it. Nice, competitive, down to the wire. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, Matt, Kristen brings up the one element of controversy that came out of this Snyder Nost Matt. That final question. What were your thoughts on the questions that were asked in this match and the match in general?
Well, I mean, you know, when it comes to the match in general, I mean, I think Jim Carrey said best. Scoot. You know, it was a fun match. It was funny. Yeah, the last question, I mean, 47 meters down. Like, I loved Jeff Snyder, like, when he stood up. And I loved Matt Nost when he was like, yeah, if it was reversed, I would have stood up, because it was like, who would have gotten this question correct? Now, apparently I saw on Twitter or on the Facebook group, apparently, I forget who it was from Late to Party, my apologies, they got a 47 meters down question. But even still, like, the question was, and listen, give it up to Chris Kalinowski. Guy knows how to write 5-point questions in a tournament, okay? Because that is a, like, it's not even like, I didn't see the movie, so I can't say that was a main, but from the sounds of it, it was a main, like, plot point. You know, it didn't sound like it was a main plot point, but that's, you know, as most people say, the Schmoedown is 90% what you know, 10% luck. The luck on that final question just wasn't in Nost's favor, but I thought he played a really good game, and I'm interested to see where he goes next season, because I believe now he's 2-2 with a knockout, so...
Yeah, I do completely agree, Matt. Chris, other than the other point of contention that was in this match, what were your thoughts? You seemed in the reaction to be very into the match.
Well, look, I was into the match because you know what? That's just me. That's who I am. But Jeff Snyder is a great competitor. Matt Nost, I thought he exceeded my expectations and did a fantastic job, which I will get into later. He did a great job. It was his best match, bar none, by far. And I would say that the last round was really cool. Like, it's funny when he finds out about that 45 meters down question. He's like, I'm going to lose to this turd of a movie. And then you see Jeff Snyder get up and he's like, are you going to me? Between the two matches this week, this was by far the best. Jeff killed it, did the Lions Den proud, and I cannot wait to see what he does in the future.
Yeah, exactly. And just to echo those sentiments, I thought it was a fantastic match. I really did enjoy it. Matt Nost did. He performed a lot better than some of us were expecting. I don't echo Evan's sentiments where, you know, this is just standard Matt Nost. I think he is the last two tournaments and top 10 being back, he has elevated himself a lot more than he was in 2016. I thought 2016 was a really bad year for Matt Nost. This year has been incredible for him. It just sucks that now he's got now a negative record, which I don't think is where he deserves to be in how he has been playing lately. I think he has got a really tough competitor in Snyder, and I'm very interested to see where he goes in future. And I thought that was a bit hard done by for the fact that, one, the question, but two, more importantly, it was, you know, he just he had a really, really tough competitor in his first round match, and he's now out of the tournament for it.
I'm thinking, like, in theory, though, is 15 points really enough to earn you a win in this tournament now? I feel like you have to score at least 20 points in order to even be competitive, like, especially in this tournament.
We need to remember that this isn't the teams tournament. Teams tournament, there are 4 more extra questions worth 2 points apiece than there are in a singles match. And I think we are now we are coming out of this team mindset of seeing the 28, 29, 30-point games, because there is that extra 8, that is that extra potential 8 points per game that aren't in the singles game. And I think that is something that we do need to consider, and something that we do need to remember going into for the rest of this singles tournament. We're not going to see 30-point games, because the most a competitor really can get is like 25, 26. So you're getting 20 in a match. That is insane. That is really good. The record last year was 19. Remember that. Before Bibiani, the record was 19. And that was before the rule changes, and all we've done is add 4 extra questions. So I think you are going to start seeing you're going to not see these massive points, but we are going to see 15 to 6. Look, 15 points is a good score. I don't think that's a bad score. I think that is a very, very good score. That means you get let's 6 and 6 in rounds 3 and in round 1 and 2, 6 and 6. And then 3 points in the last round. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I personally don't believe that that is a bit of a bad score. I think, but going further into round 2 and 3, it probably won't be enough. And I wouldn't be surprised if in some of these other matches, 15 points does win some games. Let's move on to the other match this week. Mike Kalinowski versus Josh Mokuoba. Matt, this one was tough. This one was tough for a Mokuoba fan to watch, but you were going for Mike Kalinowski. Tell us a bit, how did you feel about this match?
Listen, for those of you who didn't watch the Summit with our brackets episode, I have Mike Kalinowski winning the entire tournament. So yes, it felt good that he did not lose in the first round, because that would have sucked for me. Listen, we talked about on the reaction yesterday a little bit about how matches ending KOs aren't the most exciting. Listen, I like to see matches. I love to see matches go to sudden death. Would I love that in this match? Yeah, of course. But besides that, it was still a fun match. It was a funny match. I mean, just the two of them drinking Coors Light the entire time, and it was just fun. And Kalinowski, I think, really showed off in the first match that he's coming to play in this tournament.
Yeah, he really did show that he is definitely coming to play in this tournament. I want to bring up what you just mentioned about KOs. I don't have an issue with KOs. I just don't like seeing someone get knocked out, because that is very demoralizing to a person. Hearing those, hey, you got knocked out. It wasn't just you went the distance, you got knocked out. I think it's very demoralizing, and I don't like seeing that happen to competitors, because this is a game. This is fun. It is meant to be a game that is fun. It is not, and getting knocked out to me isn't fun. So losing by 1 or 2 points, that to me is, I went the distance. You can argue that I went the distance, but KO, that is the only issue I have with knockouts. Is I think knockouts are needed in the match and everything. I just don't like personally seeing knockouts, because it demoralizes the competitor, and I don't like seeing that. Kristen, what were your thoughts on this match?
This was one of those matches that, while it was entertaining in the aspect that, like, Kalinowski and Mokuoba are both cool people, and they're funny, and they have good banter, and they do cool things like bring each other beer and stuff like that. And they gave Ellis that little trophy. Like, that was all real cool. But it's one of those matches where it just wasn't so one-sided that it just wasn't as fun to watch. Not to say that it wasn't a good match. It was still fine, but it didn't have the amount of tension that, you know, makes for a great match. So while it was good, it just wasn't great. I didn't really see Kalinowski kind of he didn't play the best that he could have, and I'm fully convinced that this was not him winning the match. It was Mokuoba losing. And so, I mean, who knows how Kalinowski will do it in the next round, but from my perspective, he did well. I just don't know, based on some of the other competitors in here, how competitive he will be, if that's the level that he'll bring to his next match. So I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I do find how this tournament and round 2 is going to be. Look, I don't think Kalinowski played his best match. I do think Mokuoba has a lot on his mind at the moment. And it probably was playing on his head. He has a lot going on in his head at the moment. I mean, this weekend especially. So I think that probably is something that did play into his head. Evan, as the only one here on the panel who did have Mokuoba winning this match in his bracket, how did this match feel?
I'm not that. I like Mokuoba. I like his showmanship. I like who he is, you know, except for the fact that he's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, but I can get past that. I think this match just didn't have any tension to it. And whenever you're not either for nor against an opponent, like you brought up the knockout thing that demoralizes a person, I would be ecstatic if Team Action got knocked out. Like, don't get me wrong. There are some teams, there are some players, if they get knocked out, I am the happiest person in the world, because it's a sport at the end of the day. If the Dallas Cowboys, they get killed by the Redskins, I'm a happy person. You know, if the Yankees go out in 4 games in the playoffs, I'm a happy person. And the Schmoedown for me is turning into a sport. And so whenever my favorite competitors nor least favorite competitors aren't in a match, I need to be entertained by something other than the competitors themselves. And I find myself not bored during this match, but not nearly as excited as I am during other matches, because the tension wasn't nearly as high because of the knockout. And because none of the competitors really had anything on the line, if that makes sense. I don't believe that they needed this win more than anything, as we will see during Levine versus Bibiani when they need a lot. But what I am going to be taking away from this match is Mokuoba is now 7-8. 7-8 is a record where I still have my 500 theory. No matter what, Mokuoba finds a way to be 500. Look, his graph goes like this. It's a straight this way, and that's a 500 record. He has win, loss, win, loss, loss, win, win. You know, he's always 500. So now that he's 7-8, he has to win a game. And guess what? If Levine loses, which I think he will, I think we see Levine Mokuoba after this tournament. I don't know when, but I think that's a match that we see. And that's probably an upset that people aren't expecting from Mokuoba.
Chris Clark, what were your thoughts on Mokuoba's round 2?
Look, Mokuoba, this match in general was, I don't think any of us expected Mokuoba to kind of drop the ball as much as he did. Again, I agree with you, Jacob, that yes, I feel like a lot of things were on his mind, certain things. But, you know, his round 2, it was an unmitigated disaster. It was unprecedented, and we did not expect it. He wrote action adventure. He should have gotten those questions, and I think we all knew he knew those questions. He just didn't have it in his brain right there at that moment. He went complete white room. And I feel like in his round 2, I feel like had he gone to multiple choice, had he just gone to multiple choice twice, he would have mathematically eliminated any possibility of getting KO'd. Because even if Kalinowski got those 2 things, he was only, 2 or 3 points away from, he was exactly 10 points.
It was exactly.
So, yeah, it would have been a mathematically eliminating any sort of KO, and he could have excelled in round 3. I just don't think he was thinking right. And yeah, he's human. And yeah, I'm pretty sure his next match is going to be better. But his round 2, I wish we got to round 3 because that's where he excels. And it's just a shame that we never got there and it was kind of anticlimactic. But I mean, that's how these KO games work. If you get KO'd in round 2, it is anticlimactic, but it is still a great game for what it was worth.
All right. Well, with that, let's go over this week's most valuable player and our best moments. Kristen, I will start with you. Who is your best player and most valuable and best moment?
I would rather not talk about my MVP because, yes, I don't support that.
Bum
den
bum.
of-
Bum bum.
However, JTI's partner did very well. He would be my MVP of the week. Did very well. That guy. And my favorite moment was actually from that match as well. Just the fact that Nost was very competitive and that it was a competitive game. A lot of people didn't think it was going to be that good. So I just like when people are proved wrong on some of these underdogs. I love a good underdog story.
Matt, what is your best moment of the week?
Well, my MVP of the week first would be Mike the Killer Kalinowski. I think, listen, as long as Mike keeps winning, since I have been winning the whole thing, don't be surprised if I call him MVP of the week, okay? I mean, he came in, he knocked out someone who had never been knocked out in the first round of the tournament, so that's impressive. And my favorite or best moment was Kalinowski's entrance. He came out as Flash Gordon to the Flash Gordon theme from the 1980s movie, which is my guilty pleasure film of all time. Flash! He'll save every one of us! I love that song. Yeah, so Kalinowski is the MVP, and his entrance was definitely the best moment of this whole thing.
we apologize to everyone for their eardrums right now. Evan, what was your MVP and best moment?
All right, my MVP was Mike the Killer Kalinowski. Like, he got a KO. What more do you need? What more evidence do you need for a knockout? Sorry, if you get a knockout, you're the MVP. Like, there's no debate. And then the best moment, for sure, was Jeff Snyder standing up once he knew that Matt Nost was not going to get that answer right. It just shows the fun in this Schmoedown and how people, how they're all actually good friends in real life. They are. They don't hate each other, guys. And because they knew that no one knew that 44 meters down question, because that was a crazy question.
Chris Clark, what was your most valuable player of the week and your best moment?
My favorite, my MVP is actually Matt Nost, because Matt, he exceeded everybody's expectations with how he performed in his match. Though he lost, it was great. The match was great. He was a champ. He knew his stuff, and he made that match competitive with a champion. My favorite moment was when he got revealed the movie of his 5-pointer, and he just simply goes,
I'm gonna lose on this turd of a movie.
That whole sequence was fantastic, and I did steal Evan's moment, but it's because the moment is precious to me, which means that we have a precious moment together.
You guys are just weird sometimes. My most valuable player this week is Mike Kalinowski, but my favorite moment is when he walked out and he gave Mokuoba Coors Light and forced Mokuoba to break the one rule of Schmoedown. You do not drink and Schmoedown. It does not work, and we are yet to see it really work. All right, so let's move on to previewing next week's matches. We've got 2 big ones. Drew McWeedy versus JTE on October 3 to Tuesday. On a special Wednesday match on October 4th, we have Sam Levine versus William Bibiani. Chris Clark, do I even need to ask, who do you have?
Move to somebody else. No. Look, if Bibbs loses round 1, I made this bet on Facebook that if Bibbs doesn't make it to at least the final of the Ultimate Schmoedown, I would apologize to the first 1,000 members in the MTS group. There's no mathematical constitutional of Levine beating the beast. It cannot happen. It will not happen. I refuse it to happen. And brothers, sisters, thou die. I will not do it till the day I die. He will not lose. I refuse. I just refuse to see him lose. Now, about Drew McQueenie and JTE, yeah, JTE wins. I'm done. Go for it.
My dog disagrees. Actually, she picked JT on her bracket, so she doesn't disagree.
Didn't she also pick
Chris.
no?
Yeah.
Yeah, you might not be in good company here, Chris.
Who let the dogs out?
Kristen, who do you have next week?
All right. I have Bibiani and McQueenie winning. I just think that both of them are powerhouses of this tournament and of this league. And it's going to be weird if either of them don't win their first round. I could see them maybe not winning like the whole thing, but they should at least make it through the first round. And please, for the love of God, don't make Chris Clark cry. At least make it through the first round, Bibbs. Thank you. He cries so much already.
He makes too many just pathetic bets. Matt, who do you have next week?
So I have Bibiani beating Levine, and I have McQueenie beating JT, but I don't know why. I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think. That's just, I feel like JT is a little something cooking. You know?
Yeah. Evan,
I don't know why.
who have you got?
Why are people JTE's winning this match versus Drew McQueenie? I'm talking about this one first because the Bibiani match necessarily isn't that important compared to this Drew McQueenie versus JTE one. If JTE wins, I will staple this as him probably being the best competitor of the year. Just go through his wins. It's insane. You could argue he's been the better between Jeff Snyder during the Patriots. He's had an incredible win, including Bibiani, just to rub in some of the salt for Chris Clark. And if he beats Drew McQueenie, you could argue he's beaten two of the hottest competitors in 2017. And just that alone proves a lot. And the fact that people are underestimating him, this is the late to the party versus critically acclaimed match in my eyes. We have a super solid competitor that people don't see coming versus a competitor in Drew McQueenie who has established himself as arguably one of the greats or going to be one of the greats in the league. This is a perfect storm for JTE to win. And I don't know why people aren't saying this, but it's a fact. JTE is winning this match. Now, with Bibiani and Levine, I hate to admit it, but Bibiani is going to win this match just on the basic facts that sometimes that damn wheel is a bit too harsh to Levine, and I'm counting on the chances that wheel doesn't go for Levine. Even if he's seen like 200 different animated movies, that it doesn't mean that all of them are going to stick.
I'm starting to get very, very, very nervous about the Sam Levine-William Bibiani match. There is something around this match. There is that feeling I had before the late to the party critically acclaimed match. I was critically acclaimed winning that entire thing until the week of. And the week before, I changed my tune. I went, no, late to the party are winning this. And it just, because of a feeling I had, and I am starting to get that feeling with the Sam Levine match, and I am starting to get worried. I am still picking Bibiani because that is in my bracket and that is what I submitted. But I am starting to get worried about it because I just have this gut feel that Sam Levine is going to win this. But I'm still picking Bibiani. I also do agree with Evan. JTE is winning against Drew McQueenie. JTE has proven this year as he has guaranteed already comeback player of the year. There is no denying. He is guaranteed comeback player of the year. I agree with Evan. He wins this. He gets player of the year. He has to, because that the year JTE has had, the players JTE has had to beat and what his record was at the start of the year, they made a bloody documentary about him, for Christ's sake. Like, a documentary about the fall of JTE. That was made, and he has started to come back. I am of the opinion that JTE does deserve Player of the Year if he can be. He is almost there anyway. If he wins to Drew McWeedy, he deserves it. If he then goes on to play Snyder and beat Snyder, that is huge. But we will get to that when it comes to it. Guys, the other big news that dropped that we have to talk about this week, we now have more information regarding the new Schmoedown app. Evan, I'll let you talk about this one.
$4 and you can play whoever you want across the world, from what I know as well, which is very surprising. I'm very impressed with that, because iOS users, get ready. Android users, I get it. You guys can be upset, but someone put it this way on Twitter or Facebook. I get lost because everybody's so active on both platforms. The issue with Android is profitability is much less on there. People like to pirate, prove to yourself and to the company, that being either Collider or Complex, that the app can be profitable. And the safest way to do that is through iOS. So hold on to your butts, as Perry Nemiroff would say, and take your time. It will come sooner than later, because I have full trust that this app is going to be doing very well. And the images that I've seen, it looks like a professional app. It looks like something that I could carry on my phone and be like, hey guys, download this app. This is the best way to study movie trivia. This is an app that everyone can use. This is no longer hey, this is the Schmoedown app. This is, hey guys, this is an app that can introduce people to the Schmoedown, but also just practice basic trivia. Because you know how many people just play basic trivia on their phones daily? It's millions and millions and millions across the world. So now in the Schmoedown, now on Apple, on the app side where it says types of apps, and it says trivia, guess what's going to be there? Schmoedown. And that's huge, because people are now going to start seeing more of the Schmoedown name. This is no longer a YouTube thing. This is becoming a big company. The Schmoedown is becoming something larger than a group, and then a couple of schmoes, writing questions and cracking a few beers. This is now a worldwide phenomenon that's going on, and now people can interact. And people can play with their favorite competitors, or people can just practice trivia. It's a brilliant move. The images look great. And can we talk about Mark Baby Carrots Ellis in that promo? Come on, he was great. So
not as great as Mark Reilly,
but debatable. I don't want to criticize the commercial because it was fantastic. Either way, I'm super excited for it. And if you're not willing to cough up $4, and you're a diehard Schmoedown fan and all this content has been free, then I'm very confused. So I'm thoroughly excited. I know I'm not going to beat anybody in any leagues because I'm garbage at trivia, but that's part of the fun of it.
It will be released on October 10th for $4 in the iOS store. I'm really excited. I think it's going to be amazing. In the NTS page, Christian has put up an entire list of all of the devices it will work on. It's going pretty much all the way back into the iPhone 5. So provided you have a phone that is less than 3 years old in Apple, you should be able to use it. Kristen, do you have any thoughts about the app?
Yeah, I'm just excited to try it out, and hopefully my phone runs it, because I am one of those people who has a 5 or a 3-year-old phone. So it's supposed to work, but a lot of apps don't work on my phone right now. So we'll see. If it doesn't work, then I guess I'll upgrade. Maybe we'll see. But I'm excited to see if it works on my phone. Yes, but I'm also not so great at trivia. So I'm not really going to be doing this because I want to be competitive. It's more just because I want to support the Schmoedown, because it is something that brings me great happiness, and I maybe I'll get better at trivia by playing the app a little bit more.
There is one thing I do want to mention, though, is look, I get Android users are upset about this, and I understand that, but this is a this is a stepping stone curve for the Schmoedown. As Evan has said, it is important that we start somewhere and then move on and go and basically just go from there. It is very important that there is a stepping stone. You can't afford enough. The app itself is going to be, it's too much work to put it across platforms on completely different systems. That is so, that costs a lot of money. And for something that is untested, it's hard to sell that to someone. So I can completely understand why it is on iOS first, but please, it will come to Android. You just need to have patience. One other big thing that we haven't mentioned about this app is you can start your own league. Matt, what are your thoughts on being able to fight other possible Take-3 competitors, other people within here? And,
I'm looking forward to this app because I'm a train commuter to school. All I do is sit around and I play Happy Wheels and just over and over again. I'm really just looking forward to playing this. Just even the leagues, I'm not 100% sure how it's going to work right now, so I'm looking more on just the single player playing because I'm not even sure how it's going to, did they ask the competitors, the questions? Because I don't know how you have, if I'm playing a match against Tom Dagnino, is it a computer that knows, or is it just Tom Dagnino, I'm actually playing Tom Dagnino? Because from one of the screenshots, it looked very much like Mortal Kombat style, where you're fighting up the ladder of people. But I guess we'll find out on October 10th. I'm definitely willing to pay a one-time fee of $4 for this, and I can't wait for this app. I've been waiting for it, and now it's so close.
So close, and it's going to be amazing. Chris Clark, what are your thoughts on the app?
Well, I can't wait to go online and beast all of you at my insane amount of trivia that I have knocked in my noggin. I can't wait to face Whitney, who I have bets that Whitney is in this app, and he's the final boss. Bibiani's probably the second final boss. It's going to be great. And then when you unlock the inner geekdom, Robert Meyer Bennett is the monster boss, and he's Navarro. When you get these Navarro chips, we can actually make the game better. I don't know. I'm just pulling that out of my ass. But this entire app, it's going to be great. Look. It's like candy in a candy store for candy aficionados. It is, yeah. You see, the app is so colorful and the animations are so great. You can just look at how much work went into this app, and you just look at it and you see all the pictures and stuff. They actually did photography for this app for each player for when it's like Super Smash Bros. So, this app is going to be great. It's going to be a huge success. It might be even more successful than the videos online, which will in turn bring a new audience to the videos, which will in turn increase the fan base, which will in turn make everything better for everybody. So I feel like this app is a stepping stone to greatness in heaven.
It is going to be an absolutely awesome app, and we cannot wait for October 10th. Guys, that is our show. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us on this. A lot more laid back, relaxed, chilled. We didn't really dive full head first into everything, the tournament. Before I go, I do just want to give a quick Take-3 congratulations to Josh Mokuoba on his wedding this weekend. Congratulations. But I also do want to give congratulations to the commissioner himself on the birth of his lovely daughter, Macy Ray Harloff. We hope that she is lovely and healthy as well. Guys, Evan, thank you for joining with us today. Where can they find you online?
You guys can find me. How can I not wear the headband? How can I not close out with the headband before the summit's over? You guys can find me stressing about this Stacey Howard versus Mark Ellis match that is until another 3 weeks. Because there's a reason that it's that last week and it's stressing me out. We can talk about it later, but you can find me in a corner panicking. And you guys can also find me tormenting Chris Clark and teaching him how to edit or vice versa, whatever, at Take 3 Productions, and follow me on Twitter at EvanDeGraff15. And Chris Clark, you can't wear a headband. That's my thing. Come on.
Yeah, you guys can find Evan also being Chris Clark trying having a panic attack teaching Evan how to edit a thumbnail on our Facebook group if you need to check that one out. Kristen, where can people find you online?
And you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Stardust, the social media things. Smith_K10, the number, not the word. Yeah, all those places.
Matthew Kearns, where can people find you online?
You guys, as always, can find me at Kearns_Matthew on Twitter, MattMood611 on YouTube, and right here hosting the Movie Fandom Show every other Wednesday.
Chris Clark, our amazing editor, guys, please, in the comments, give Chris Clark chops for how much editing he does on this show. It is amazing. He is the one who does all the graphics. He fixes all our mistakes and all of our mess ups, which you will then see in bloopers later down the line. Chris Clark, where can people find you online?
I systematically hate each and every one of you. Just spoiler warning. We started recording at 7:30. Right now, it's 9:15. This is supposed to be a 30-minute video. I am in for hell tomorrow, and I will die a slow and painful death. But you can find me, hopefully not dead, on Twitter at ChrisClark8788. Chris Clark8788. Those numbers mean nothing because I keep mixing up my plugs with everybody else's because I think I'm a unicorn. But you can also find me on YouTube at No Man's Land Entertainment. And I'm killing everybody right now. I am sorry, Jacob. I ruined the summit.
I'm a unicorn! I'm a unicorn!
Hashtag Clark is a unicorn.
You guys can find me at Jacob Blunden on Facebook, Twitter, and on Letterboxd, where I do all my movie reviews at the moment. And if you guys want to know more about the Schmoedown, make sure you go to Schmoedown Rundown on SK+. This week, they dropped some very, very exclusive news about an upcoming segment in the Schmoedown. It's very exciting. Make sure you go and check them out. And they also had a sit-down interview with Mike Kalinowski. It's a very great chat. Make sure you go check it out. But also, guys, if you haven't, please like and comment on this video below. And if you enjoyed this, make sure you subscribe. We do this every week. It's a lot of fun. We hope you enjoy it. And guys, make sure you go over to our Facebook page at Take 3 Productions. It's a Facebook group. Join it. We will accept anyone. And there for all of our updates, information, everything about Take 3 Productions. And remember, this November, the first weekend of November, we are doing our Star Wars charity event for suicide prevention. We hope you join us for that one. The link below has all your information for that charity event. But for everyone here at Take 3, Evan DeGraff, Kristen Smith, Matthew Kearns, and Chris Clark, I'm Jacob Blunden, and we will see you next time. Take care.